Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Crypto Ginger here, and long time no see. Guys, I do apologize for the lack of video content for the last couple of weeks. It has been a very challenging couple of weeks for sure, especially after my car accident, and then, of course, other things have toppled around me. So, like the old saying, when it rains, it pours. But nonetheless, guys, even when I do stop, the cryptocurrency market and this ecosystem still keeps going. And of course, that right there, alongside of all the news that we're seeing every single day, is basically non-stop. But nonetheless, guys, I'm going to try to get back at it and get you guys more video content as much as I possibly can. In the meantime, I wanted to do a quick relay of some of the more important news that I wanted to quickly go over here, and I wanted to also give you guys a quick look here at the charts. If you're not paying attention to what's happening with the market, we are seeing some rather interesting volatility for sure. Obviously, some cryptocurrencies are doing better than others, but it is a very interesting time right now when it comes to what's happening in the market. Obviously, Bitcoin is still remaining dominant, and of course, we are seeing again some volatility in the market for sure. I have noticed something when it comes to XRP, for example, by comparison to all your other cryptocurrencies, is that it is maintained in the range of around 28, 29, and maybe even 30 cents. It's kind of fluctuating, bouncing in between that, but it hasn't seen a large volatility of movement when it comes to what's happening with its markets. So who knows? I think a lot of this right here might show us some stability leading up to the upcoming swell event, the Ripple swell event that's taking place November 7th and 8th. So that right there could actually lend itself to some more positivity within the market for XRP alone. So who knows? I definitely think that we're going to start seeing a lot of action happening, ramping up, going into the end of this year here. I know it's something that's easy to say when you're making these videos and you're seeing what's happening in the market, but when you start seeing the price decline, it's kind of challenging sometimes to actually, figure out exactly what's causing this, other than manipulation or people with large amounts of capital, whales if you want to call them that, moving the market around. So we are definitely seeing a lot of that taking place, guys. But again, my speculation is that the upcoming swell event, right alongside of other events that are going to be taking place for the last part of this year, are probably going to help ramp up the price points of cryptocurrencies in general. But your top performing coins are most certainly going to be impacted. And keep in mind, we still do have the Bitcoin halving that's supposed to be around May of 2020. So that's only really about, 6 to 7 months away for right now. So not very far away, half a year's time frame from now until, again, the Bitcoin halving that could actually impact the price of what's happening with Bitcoin right alongside of your other cryptocurrencies. So definitely keep all that in mind, guys. Again, I do apologize for the lack of videos, but I want to jump into some of the news here really quickly and kind of go over some of the things I think are really important right now. Now, this first bit of news is very interesting. Of course, it's a very quick read from CoinDesk where we see that Trump administration popped the 2017 Bitcoin bubble. And of course, this is coming from an ex-CFTC chairman who happens to be Christopher Giancarlo. He was part of the U.S. Commodities Future Trading Commission, and again, he actually is speaking out in regards to what had taken place with these Bitcoin futures being introduced, and actually stating again that it was introduced by the Trump administration here. Now, he spoke to CoinDesk back in April and also at a Pantera Summit in San Francisco on this topic, and one of the things he stated was that one of the untold stories of the past few years is that the CFTC, the Treasury, the SEC, and the National Economic Council director at the time, Gary Kahn, believed that the launch of Bitcoin futures would have the impact of popping the Bitcoin bubble, and it worked. So you can see here that if the Trump administration handed down the go-ahead to this gentleman, Gary Kahn here, who then actually had the introduction of the Bitcoin futures into the market, they knew right off the bat that this right here was going to affect the market in a way that would drop the price down, because you have a lot of control when it comes to Bitcoin futures. You can predict the price, and of course you can manipulate the market at that point in time so it hopefully matches the price of those predicted Bitcoin futures. So with that being the case, we definitely saw a very long-winded bear-trended market from around the beginning of 2018 all the way up until about Q2 of this year, 2019. So a very long, extended time frame with that bear-trended market. Now, of course, Giancarlo also goes to state that Bitcoin's dramatic price run-up back in December of 2017 was the first major Bitcoin bubble, following a 2008 financial crisis that we all definitely remember and experienced. And of course, this is why the Trump administration had acted in concert to address it in a pro-markets manner. And of course, he did state that we saw a bubble building. We thought it was the best way to address it and allow the market to interact with it. So again, you can see that the Bitcoin futures most certainly had an impact on the market from the beginning of 2018 all the way up until right now. And if we allow for the Bitcoin futures to maintain, my guess is they're going to always be there to manipulate the market regardless. So something to take away when it comes to this kind of information and what we actually all experienced back in 2017. And again, that long bear trended market that took place from 2018 all the way up until Q2 of this year. So thank you, Trump administration, for doing that. Of course, I think it's very interesting timing when it comes to all this information here that we heard during that bear trend market that Ripple, the company, they had members that met with the Trump administration to talk to them about what Ripple could do when it comes to economy and, of course, different types of transitions from your old standard fiat system going into this digital economic system here. We also know that Ripple and different members of the Ripple team met with World Bank, IMF, central banks all over across the world, many banks and financial institutions across the globe. So they are definitely at the forefront of a lot of the things that are growing when it comes to this economy here, this digital economy and this new fintech ecosystem. So that right there could also be one of those things that lets us know that Trump administration probably already had something in their mind when it comes to what they wanted to foresee take place with this new ecosystem and didn't want it to get too crazy and out of hand with that Bitcoin rally that we experienced again in 2017. So what better way to control that than throw in Bitcoin futures and then, of course, be able to at least, I guess, accommodate the entire ecosystem by getting companies that are very far along developed, like Ripple, if you will, and have them introduce their products to the ecosystem, such as on-demand liquidity and XRP. So take it for what it is, guys. You'll have to let me know what you think about this information here. I just found it very intriguing when it comes to, again, this ex-CFTC chairman speaking out on regarding how the Bitcoin futures had actually negatively really impacted the market that we all experienced, and it all came from the Trump administration, at least from what they're stating here. So let me know what you guys think about this information here. The next couple bits of information I want to quickly go over as well. Now, it's interesting when speaking on the on-demand liquidity because this is kind of the rebranding that Ripple has actually taken on when it comes to combining some of their older packages they had, such as XVIA, XCurrent, and XRapid, putting them together and, of course, calling it on-demand liquidity, which is XRP based. And now we're seeing from the daily hodl that the on-demand liquidity is actively replacing outdated cross-border payment infrastructures. Guys, this is something that Ripple's been trying to do for quite some time. It has been something they've been speaking about for the longest time when it comes to reaching out to these banks and financial institutions on a global scale there. They're here to solve the cross-border payment solutions, the remittance solutions, and of course real-time payment solutions just as well. And they're now actively doing this because of their rebranding and of course taking advantage of their on-demand liquidity. So again, I just wanted to kind of let you know that we're seeing this happening here, and this on-demand liquidity, this new rebranding for Ripple, you're going to see this happen to be the case every single time they talk about solving these cross-border payments and, of course, creating these new infrastructures on a global scale from one country to another, creating corridors back and forth. It's going to be on-demand liquidity, guys, and that's the new rebranding. So keep that in mind when you start seeing that name there, because that is Ripple, and they are solving this particular solution on a global scale. So very interesting read here, guys. If you want to take a quick look at this, I'll leave it in the description. But I think outside of what we already know about Ripple, and again, them trying to work on this cross-border payment solution here, this right here is just a step in the right direction for Ripple. Now I want to give a huge shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf for this additional information just as well. When it comes to the talk of remittance, like we just spoke about with that last article there, we're seeing more people from Ripple, for example, Navin Gupta here, who's the managing director of Ripple, coming out stating that there's a lot of opportunity in the Middle East. We've definitely heard about that for quite some time now when it comes to Ripple trying to, create a reach in the Middle East. And now what we can see is that Ripple's managing director, again, Navin, said that there's a huge opportunity for Ripple and XRP in the Middle East since they are the largest remittance market in the world. And of course, Navin also stated that he would not be surprised to see brands originating from the GCC in the next few years. So guys, we are most certainly seeing a lot of growth happening in the world when it comes to these fintech companies such as Ripple creating this reach on a global scale here when it comes to solving problems such as remittance and of course getting real-time solutions taken care of because of on-demand liquidity. So guys, again, growth is happening and Ripple is at the forefront of a lot of this here. So let me know what you guys think about this information. I have a couple of things I want to quickly go over as well. Now, this last bit, I want to give a shout out to XRP Research Center for posting information out there to the XRP community, very much like a lot of the other community members, keeping everybody on the same page. But what he likes to do is very similar to that of Anthony Pompliano, who is a very big Bitcoin maximalist, if you will. And Anthony Pompliano will go out and actually post on a weekly basis things that are happening for the week for Bitcoin. So, of course, we have this in retrospect for XRP by XRP Research Center. And what we can see in this week in XRP, Ripple invests in Bitso. We can also see that FXCM launches Crypto Basket with XRP. We have Vice Events showcasing WM Music Player. We have Coinfield's X reveals Real Sologenic, which that right there is a very big thing to look into when it comes to some big news for a company getting themselves immersed into this ecosystem here and involving themselves with XRP for sure. We also have Xspring Dev invest in Tower Labs. That's another big article to go in and look into as far as news is concerned. We have iSafePal supports XRP. We also have MoneyGram CEO going to be part of the upcoming Ripple Swell event happening November 7th and 8th. And also we have XRP market report for Q3 2019. So some very big moves happening for XRP and Ripple this week. Again, a very, very similar process that somebody like Anthony Pompliano will post when it comes to Bitcoin. We see this being posted again by XRP Research Center. So give them a follow. And I wanted to bring this up in regards to that MoneyGram CEO being part of the Swell event, because all you really have to do when it comes to being part of Twitter is type in the search MoneyGram, and you can actually get a list of everything that happens to be related to MoneyGram, especially when it comes to XRP and Ripple. It's pretty much the most predominant thing you'll see when it comes to typing that in the search engine. And one of the coolest things here is that you get a lot of very recent information posted by those in the XRP community. For example, we have Eric Dadam here, who's actually posted something recently in regards to the liquidity index on Bitso for XRP and the Mexican dollar here. This is absolutely intriguing when it comes to the history for the liquidity index again. And this is the full history bar, and you can actually see that it wasn't until the partnership between Ripple and MoneyGram that we saw a huge influx of money coming in. And we're going to start seeing that be the case, I would imagine, for a lot of these companies that have some sort of partnership or actually get a partnership with Ripple, the company. So again, guys, you can do a lot of research really quickly just by going to Twitter here, typing in companies that are already affiliated with Ripple, and you'll see the links all the way up and down. Everybody in the cryptocurrency community is just very adamant about making sure that everybody else is on the same page with this information here. We're all early adopters, guys, and it's growing, absolutely growing. So a lot to take away from this, guys, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to hear me out on this video. Like I said, get yourself on the Twitter, get yourself into the XRP community, or whatever community you want to follow when it comes to the cryptocurrency you favor. But nonetheless, you're going to get a lot of information via Twitter just as well. So take it for what it is, guys. Take it with a grain of salt, but nonetheless, there is an abundant amount of information out there for sure. Definitely want to thank all you guys for the opportunity of watching this video here, hear me out, and of course, being patient with me just as well. If you're new to this channel, please hit the like and subscribe button if you like what you see, and of course, stick around for some more videos. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.